About a year ago, my wife and I, 36M, built a new house and our family moved in. We love everything about the house and couldn't wait for the street to fill up with neighbors. As luck would have it, a few months later, another family moved in right next door. As soon as both mine and their family settled, a close bond between us and them formed, as one of their kids are the same age as mine. They are extremely conservative with deep ties with their local church, whereas we aren't. However, that never stopped us from us all hanging out. After several months of getting to know them, I found the missus on Snapchat and sent her a request. It started out innocently, where we greeted each other with a daily fun snap followed by a brief chat exchange. I should add that I wasn't looking for an AP, rather just another way to stay in touch with our neighbor. I did look for her SO, but he refuses to take part in Snapchat. As time went by, the snaps continued. However, our chats evolved. We realized that we both have a lot more in common than we originally thought, and she wasn't as deeply religious as our husband, however, still believed in the church and enjoyed being active in it. Eventually, our topics became a lot more personal, where we would vent to each other about our SO habits and what each other's bedroom lives were. Turns out, they're not so much different. My bedroom has become a DB for the last several years, especially after we had kids. I've only been with my SO, and when we were dating, it was sex almost every day. But once kids entered the picture, the sex became once a month, if not every other month. I suspect this is common for any family with kids as life takes a hold and gets in the way. However, my SO never wanted to make time just for us, so our bedroom was impacted. From my neighbor, her SO requires him to be away from home most nights of the week, having her become a partial single mom. I could tell in her chats that she was lonely. Of course, since we were talking about each other's bedroom habits, we start to discuss our own likes and desires. As our chats progressed deeper and deeper into foreign territory, I started to develop feelings for her, and she admitted that she developed those same feelings for me. One night, after being rejected from my SO, I reached out to my neighbor to see if she was available to chat. Sure enough, she was, and eventually I exposed my sexual frustration to her. She completely understood and admitted it's been several weeks for her, and that every time she would see a chat from me, a smile would appear on her face. That night, we sexted via chat, no pics, for the first time, telling each other what we would do to each other. I felt alive and desired and enjoyed the moment. She admitted she did too, but we both agreed that this had to be a one-time session. Well, I'm ashamed to say, but that agreement didn't last long, as our daily chats never stopped. We tiptoed that fine line as long as we could, but occasionally dipped our toes back into the deep end. We both admitted that there was extreme risk with what we were doing, but we decided to proceed with caution. We set up boundaries that, while we would occasionally sext, no pictures would be sent of each other, and all personal chats had to be done over Snapchat so that the history of our sessions wouldn't save. Weeks gone by, and our chatting sessions were getting hotter by the day. She eventually asked what my package looked like. Up until now, I never shared that level of detail with her and never expected her to share her own with me. I admit I am self-conscious in that department, as I suspect most men are too, if they're being honest. I told her I was around average, but not very thick. She then compared me to her SO and explained he was similar. I asked if she would like to see it, and she said she would love to, but wouldn't ever ask. If I wanted to share that part of me, she wouldn't freak or get upset, but she felt bad for even asking for a description of it. I opted the time wasn't right and didn't send her any pictures. A week before Christmas, I was home alone when I saw a message from her on Snapchat. She asked if I could talk, and I told her yes. She let me know she was also home alone and worked up and wanted a release. We got pretty heavy into sexting with each other, and I wanted to now show her how hard she made me. I took a picture of myself and sent it to her, breaking another boundary. I saw her open the image and I nervously waited for a response. She replayed the snap. Then I saw her typing away. Finally, a new message appeared. I would love to suck that. I was in awe and even more turned on. She asked if I was stroking myself, and instead of responding, I sent her a video of me doing just that. She said that she enjoyed watching me touch myself and asked for me to come. I wanted to also showcase that to her, however, this was all new territory for me, and sadly, I couldn't climax while holding my phone recording myself, so I came later once our sexting ended. She admitted to me that she came twice just with the picture and video of me and knowing what she would do with me ever given the chance. I told her the picture and video was my Christmas present to her. Since we live right next door to each other, we were constantly at each other's houses having dinner parties or just hanging out while our kids played with each other. Most times, both our SOs were present, making sure her and I were on our best behavior. During our entire history of chatting back and forth, we've made it known how badly we wanted each other, and we dangerously danced around each other anytime we were alone, pushing another boundary. We never made physical contact other than hugs or brushes against each other, and we avoided being alone together for too long in any room. Then, yesterday happened. The other day, we were at her house, and she messaged me yesterday informing me we forgot something and asked if I come pick it up. Of course, she knew I was home alone with my kids, and she also was home alone with one of her kids. So I agreed to come over and get the object. She replied thanks, and for me to let myself in. A few minutes later, I was at her front door, my heart beating out of my chest. This would be the first time in our 9-month history where her and I would practically be alone, even if for a brief moment. I opened her door and walked in. I heard her voice come from her bedroom, followed by her son's. I walked towards her room and peeked into her bedroom. She looked up at me with a smile and directed her son to watch his iPad. She greeted me at her bedroom door with the same smile and nudged me to back away. She slowly closed her bedroom door as we entered her kitchen. She leaned against the counter and I went for it. I leaned in and kissed her with all of might. She grabbed my hands and held them as my tongue explored her mouth. Still holding my hand, she led me into her laundry/mud room. She released my hands as I pushed her against her washer, squeezing her ass with one hand and her breast another. I pulled away, breathing hard, and looked at her. She fell into me as I held her. She looked back up, and I kissed her softly again. Finally, she pulled away and said I better get going. We entered her hallway, and I again kissed her. She grabbed my hard-on through my pants and squeezed lightly. I whimpered in her mouth. Somehow, she managed to open her front door, handed me the object she called me over for, and pushed me out of her house. A few minutes later, I received a message from her, where she apologized for pushing me out, but said if I stayed a minute longer, things would have escalated quickly between us. I'm in trouble.